Hey everybody, welcome back to Subspace AppSync. I'm Arthur. This is October 25th of 2022. God, I hope I got that right. Today we're going to be doing a little something different. We're going to go through our usual product engineering board to go over our remaining items from last quarter, and then we'll be going over our two new initiatives, which is going to be the SDK CLI and our Block Explorer going forward. So let's get started. Okay. First off in the done column, fix contributor workflow. That's me. This PR, as mentioned before, was just to clean up a lot of our GitHub actions. Primarily, we had some issues with this this GitHub action that was kind of generating a lot of pull requests, which was getting kind of noisy. I've since removed that and instead linked directly to our contributor graph, which is a part of GitHub, to kind of showcase who has been contributing to the docs flow. That's done. Surge, deploying a local archive for Subsquid. I want to talk a little about this.
Yeah, so I'm not sure why it's local. It's deployed on DigitalOcean on one of our droplets. And yeah, it's Subsquid archive. So basically it stores raw data from the chain. And we are running like a local Subspace node, Gemini 2A. And yeah, it stores everything into Postgres and exposes GraphQL API. So this data can be queried.
Okay, great. Thanks for doing that. Implement Subspace CLI farm, Ozgen.
Yes, we separated this one into two little issues, so we can talk about this later.
Okay, perfect. Expose gateway service port. This is infra, that's Surge.
And this is minor. This was related to the just an update for Docker Compose.
Gotcha. Okay, great. And as always, I'm going to archive this as proof that we've done this. Great job. All right. Oh, I didn't move this away, but okay. We'll just talk about it over here. In progress, Bootstrap UI app, Surge.
Yeah, so I didn't merge it. It's basically ready. I just wanted Natasha to take a look and maybe she will have some comments. So basically, this is like initial commits for our UI application for Block Explorer. I added React, Apollo for GraphQL queries, some code generation, and I added some simple components. As you can see, there are no styles, but this is data from the GraphQL API just to test how it queries it. And yeah, that's all. Natasha, if you have any comments on the structure or anything, just let me know.
Okay, great. Thank you, Surge, for doing that. Create a squid to track subspace balances. This is in progress. Surge.
Yeah, so this also is currently working on deployed on our another droplet. So basically, we have this archive, which is a base layer, which stores the raw data. And on top of that, we are building squids. So this is the first one in order to show balances, accounts on Block Explorer later.
Okay, great. All right, I guess we're going, this is the CLI stuff. I guess we can talk about this later. I forgot to port us over, but it's fine. Implement a command to run farmer in default mode quietly.
Okay, you want to talk about it now? Okay.
Since it's here, let's just talk about it, and then we'll just go over the main items we move over.
The default one should be not emit logs on the screen, but should display a progress bar. So right now, the progress on that is I implemented the farm wrapper in the CLI. So when SDK side is ready, I believe we should be good to go. Aside for the connection to the progress bar, we should have a separate conversation with Ivan about that, I believe. Yeah, besides that, it's looking good to go.
All right, great, excellent. We have our meeting for CLI SDK tomorrow, so we'll definitely talk about this after the meeting, but we also have that. And then following up, implement a command to run farmer in verbose mode. Ozgen.
Yes, this is actually in progress. since it's also including implementing the farm functionality, but I haven't done anything about this specific one. Like, haven't done anything about the logs, so there is nothing to talk about the set actually.
Okay, perfect, great, and I'm glad you put some information about the progress bar as you mentioned. So good to hear. Excellent. All right. Just for everyone's reference, so in the last couple of weeks, we have since wrapped up our audit with Trail of Bits. So we have completed that. We are in coordination with them and waiting for some feedback. But otherwise, the remaining items that we have, which is to keep track of the following unmaintained indirect dependencies, which we've spoken of before, we will be coordinating with the Trail of Bits audit team to get that wrapped up. Moving forward, the rest of the items we will be revisiting later. We are going to start moving forward towards our two other main initiatives, which is the SDK and CLI work, as well as our Block Explorer. Let's start with SDK CLI since we've already started that. So support initializing a node. That's Ivan.
Yeah, sure. Like I'm currently working on that. Yeah, not much to talk about that. I guess I'll just send a PR like in a day or two related to it. Yeah, for now, like it will miss like most of the integrations, like on many methods, as it will require like wiring via the substrate. So yeah, but overall, yeah. The other thing missing though on the board is that like there is a PR open for the farmer, which is in the review. Yeah, initialize a farmer. Yeah, yeah, it should be in progress. Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. All right, perfect. Let's use this opportunity right now. As I mentioned, I pulled over whatever I could over to the to-do. So I think for this week, I think it makes sense for us to start pulling over farmer tickets. So here's what I have so far. Support farmer sync. We labeled, Ivan, we labeled this as an M. But I think, do you have any updates on this? Should we queue up for this week?
I'm not sure. Like, as this is blocked by the monorepo, like in terms of syncing. So there is no, for example, there is no wiring for the GSN in the farmer crate for in the monorepo.
Is there a ways that we can start building around it with even with the monorepo being blocked by the monorepo, or do we have to wait on those for the monorepo to unblock us for us to move forward?
Yeah, I would just wait. Yeah.
Okay. All right, then let's move. Let's keep this in to do, and let's think up about that. Farming with a farmer. Also support from monorepo.
Like we should implement that, I guess. Yeah, it just requires like supporting through like signaling, that kind of things. So we just need to send signals like stop farming and start farming, something like that.
Okay, great. Let me move that up, and I'll move this to the bottom. Support node syncing.
Yeah, it also requires like wiring through the substrate and through the monorepo, I guess. So we should implement that also. Yeah.
Okay. And then last one I have set up for here is getting info about the farmer.
Yeah, this is pretty small one. Yeah. I could implement that. Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so I think that makes sense. That should get us forward with the node syncing and most of the farm work. So it seems that the farmer syncing is the one that we're really blocked on. So let's think about that a little bit. Is there any other issues that you think we should be bringing in?
I just want to provide a little clarity on that one. So that was just the like long-term roadmap that we wanted to support, like in this ideal API. When I wrote that, the farmer still syncs. It just can only sync if you sync a node. So it's like syncing from the node. So once we have a feature which is to sync from the DSN, which we might have at Gemini 3, that will, we could have that option. So what this means is basically you could only run a farmer or like use a CLI if you're like in archival mode. But if you run it in like full mode or light mode, this support node syncing, or sorry, support farmer syncing would block that sort of feature. Or would unlock that feature.
Okay, so I think that means if we go from that route, technically we should be unblocking the farmer syncing if we go with the archival node structure. Does that sound about right, Ivan and Jeremiah?
Well, there's not really. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just terminology, but I mean, it's not really. It is synced just through the node already. So the archival node does the sync. but effectively, yes.
All right, so we're good with continuing with farmer syncing.
I'm just not sure like whether we're blocked by the node syncing. I believe no, right, Jeremiah?
No, the node sync is just going to be like standard substrate node sync for now. It's not going to be synced through the DSN. That'll come after farmer sync. Separate farmer sync is unlocked.
Oh, okay then, yeah. Okay then, sure, yeah. I guess I can also, yeah. You can move it to the top then.
Okay, perfect. I think from the SDK side, I think this should be a good amount of stories for us to kind of move forward on. For CLI, Ozgen, how do we feel about pulling over these command modes that we have just talked about earlier on, right?
Yeah, makes sense. I moved them into in progress in the other project, so yeah, they got messed up
yes.
with it.
It's all good. Thank you so much for that. What else should we pull over? I think this one we need a larger conversation with Ivan.
Yes, only these two should be in progress. The other ones should stay in to do probably or no status.
Okay. Why don't we move the display info? Let's talk about this in depth later today or tomorrow's meeting. And I think this is good. We'll leave wipe for the next session. Anything else that stands out that would be a good ticket for us to accomplish for this week? Looks good? All right, excellent. Block Explorer. We went through some of them. Thanks again, Serge, for getting that started. So we already went through the squid to track subspace balances and the bootstrap UI. I pulled over quite a few tickets over to do, but so let's go over quickly which ones we want to prioritize or deprioritize. First up, I have show list of accounts. This one, for context, is that we want to be able to show all the available accounts on the Block Explorer. How do we feel about this for this week, Natasha and Serge? Oh, and also an update. We are in communication with our designer, so they are also actively working on UI UX as well for this. So, and a side note.
I think we depend on the design availability on each of these items.
Right. For the backend, I believe that we should be good to go though for account details. Correct?
We can have some implementation, but it probably will be adjusted once we have a design.
Okay, fair enough. That's going to probably ring true for account details. Latest block details, I think that's straightforward and that makes sense. Total archive blocks and best blocks, I think these four are going to be one group of features that we can push out together. Everyone, that makes sense for everyone, or anyone begs to differ?
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Just want to make sure that we already have that available in the API.
Serge, do you have any input on that, if we have that available in the API?
We have blocks available, accounts almost available, and everything else. Extrinsics are also available, and events. Not sure. I will check when I have access to the keyboard.
Okay, no problem. I think then what it makes sense, then let's focus on the accounts and of course blocks, since that's already available, and extrinsic as well. And then we'll work closely with Alexander as he provides his input later this week on design. Squid to track space pledged. Is that something we're going to be able to accomplish this week?
I think these are related to these issues that were created. We can merge this because I created before we had a board.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're good to close this?
Yeah, we can close.
Okay. How about, okay, blockchain history site squid. I think this is the same thing too, right?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. I think then unified GraphQL API, that should have been close to, And then the only one really remaining should have been the setup Nginx with Let's Encrypt for the subsquids archive.
Well, I would leave this for now because I'm not yet sure if we're going to use multiple specialized squids or one like a squid that will do everything that we need. So I still need some research here. So maybe we can change the name, but yeah, we still need the task.
Okay, perfect. Also, we have that channel with Subsquid, so we could also ping them directly to get some kind of a feedback from them what they think the best path forward is. Cool. Set up Nginx with Let's Encrypt for Subsquid. Is this still relevant? Are we in progress with this one?
Yeah, it's still relevant.
Okay, perfect. The rest of them will. Thanks again for creating tickets. We'll queue those up next week. I think that wraps up for our project boards for this week. Is there any other comments or questions that we'd like to discuss on this call? All right. Well, if there's nothing else, thanks again. Great work, everyone, from last week, and looking forward to our SDK and CLI and Block Explorer progress. Bye.